makes it 30 days before Christmas. So the next Monday edition of the Morning Ride will be a new month. How time flies. I don't know if you started feeling the harmattan in your season. Not yet in my area. If you started feeling the harmattan in your area, not yet in my area. But I think that was a couple of days ago, about 3-4 days ago. I was just breathing in. I could slightly feel the dry air and all of that, but it's not very harsh yet, and the weather is relatively hot. I remember speaking to somebody, a colleague of mine, and she was asking like, when last did it rain? Because the heat is something else, but it's something that comes with the season, and the carol songs already in the air. Meanwhile, the DBS Christmas carol is taking place this Thursday, so Christmas is in the air, 30 days before Christmas. Today on the ride, I will take you through our exciting lineup, from trending news to newspaper review to engaging interviews with our guests. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We kick off very quickly with some trending stories. And this is from the foreign scene. Pope Leo XIV has called for the immediate and unconditional release for more than 300 hostages abducted from St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary Schools in Papiri, Agwara local government area of Niger State. He said, and I quote, "I learned with immense sadness the news of the kidnappings of priests, faithful, and students in Nigeria and Cameroon. I make a heartfelt appeal for the immediate release of the hostages," the Pope added, expressing deep sorrow, especially for the many young boys and girls kidnapped and for their anguished families. He further urged the public to pray for the victims, saying, "Let us pray for these brothers and sisters of ours, and that churches and schools may always and everywhere remain places of safety and hope." The Pope made the remarks at the end of his Angelus prayer. Now, the Christian Association of Nigeria CAN confirmed on Saturday that gunmen stormed the private Catholic school in the early hours of Friday and abducted over 300 students and teachers. According to sources, the attackers arrived in large numbers, riding on more than 60 motorcycles accompanied by a van. 50 pupils escaped kidnappers. Meanwhile, there has been a glimmer of hope. 50 of the abducted children have escaped from their captors. CAN disclosed this in a statement on Sunday, noting that the children escaped between Friday and Saturday. "We have received some good news as 50 pupils escaped and have reunited with their parents," said Daniel Atori, media aide to the CAN chairman in Niger State, Most Reverend Bulus Daura Yohana, who is also the Catholic Bishop of Kontagara Diocese. The pupils escaped between Friday and Saturday and reunited with their parents as they could not return to the school after they escaped. "We were able to ascertain this when we decided to contact and visit some parents," the statement added. CAN also provided updated figures. Aside from the 50 pupils who escaped and returned home, 141 pupils were not taken during the attack. However, 236 pupils, 3 children belonging to staff, 14 secondary school students, making a total of 253 children along with 12 members of staff, remain in captivity. Last week was very disturbing for me, and I believe it was same for every patriotic Nigerian, because when you look at the incident that played out in Kebbi State early hours of Monday, 24 girls abducted. Then on Tuesday was that of Kwara State, worshippers in a church during a service, a CSC church, and these bandits, they stormed the church, kidnapped some of them, about 38 of them. Now, of course, there's good news concerning that. And then Niger State, over 300 pupils and students kidnapped alongside staff of this school. So it's a very disheartening one. And now, it's very disturbing considering the fact that at such a time as this, when the US president has claimed that there's Christian genocide in Nigeria, and the government of the day, they are disputing that fact, saying there is nothing like a Christian genocide. Now, they have admitted that there is insecurity in the country, but they do not agree that there is a Christian genocide. And it's sad to say that this school that was attacked in Niger State, it's a Catholic school. It's a Christian school. And over 300 persons kidnapped. Now, it begs the question, how were over 300 persons moved? From the report I read, over 60 motorcycles were brought in by these kidnappers and a van. So how were over 300 persons moved that the security personnel within that vicinity were not alerted? So it begs the question, what's going on with our intelligence? Are the security personnel really doing their job? Because I cannot imagine. Do you know what 300 persons are? In a red zone such as that. So the security personnel ought to be more alert in such an area. So for 300 persons to be moved without anybody being apprehended is very disturbing. Now, I've seen the reports. I know I've seen the reports as like, this is not realistic. Saying that 50 pupils, 50 of them escaped. I'm like, what do you mean escaped? Like, really, what really do you mean escaped? Is it that? Because that word escaped is like, it was not these kidnappers that willingly let them go. They escaped on their own. And I'm like, really? They really escaped on their own? So if they escaped on their own, by now, they should have given security personnel enough intelligence for them to act on. So this is a call for the security architecture to be looked into really. The security architecture in the country needs to be looked into. Then the state of situation of Kwara State, 38 abducted Christian worshippers, they have returned. They have returned. Now, it's still the same thing. How did they get these 38 worshippers out of the kidnappers then? Because when they were kidnapped, I think about the next year thereabout, these kidnappers reached out to family members of these victims, requesting for 100 million naira ransom per victim. And if you put that into 38, that's about 3.8 billion. So, did the federal government pay ransom for these released captors? Of course, if they do that, then it will be illegal. And it's part of what is funding this kidnapping sector, because it has become a sector now. It's an industry. People are cashing out, permit me to use that, cashing out of this industry, which shouldn't be. Then if the federal government comes out to say they didn't pay ransom, so how did they get 38 persons out of the kidnappers then? Because as of now, nobody has reported any arrests of these kidnappers that stormed the CAC church in Kwara State. So how did they get 38 persons out? Because if you are getting 38 persons out of the kidnappers, then I'm expecting that you should have reported that some bandits were killed, some were captured and all of that. I don't even hear they were wounded and they ran away. No, you cannot get 38 persons without having casualties. So, again, I'll leave you with this question on that story. Is the security architecture of Nigeria compromised? Is the federal government intentionally or inadvertently playing a role? Are individuals intentionally or inadvertently funding this kidnapping sector? Because every time you pay ransom, you are funding them. Have you seen their armory? Do you see the guns that they wield, the weapons they have in their possessions? The CSC scenario, the service was being streamed. When you look at these kidnappers that entered the church, like somebody was asking, it was like, look at this person. What does this person really want to use 100 million naira for? Because they are living this, they are so reserved. They are not extravagant. They don't appear extravagant. So They are being sponsored. How are they getting those weapons? The armories. The federal government needs to do right, because they got into that position and their major responsibility is to protect the lives and properties of the Nigerian citizen. They've not done well as concerning that. They've not done well at all. Now, the Defense Headquarters has dismissed circulating claims that the Nigerian military plans to forcibly recruit citizens from the age of 18, describing the reports as entirely false. Brigadier General Samaila Uba, Director of Defense Information, clarified that a video making the rounds online falsely attributed to the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS General Olufemi Oluyede, was fabricated and manipulated. The attention of the Defense Headquarters has been drawn to a fake video that mischievously used a cloned image of the Chief of Defense Staff. Uba said, in the video, a false statement was attributed to him, suggesting that the military intends to compel young Nigerians from the age of 18 to join the armed forces against their will. This is completely untrue. He emphasized that the Nigerian military remains a noble and voluntary profession, attracting thousands of patriotic Nigerians who willingly apply through the official recruitment processes of the Nigerian Army, Air Force, and Navy. General Ba added that the fake video was clearly aimed at tarnishing the reputation of the CDS and casting the armed forces in a negative light. Now, when I saw the video, I was like, does Nigeria want to become Russia now, where citizens are coerced into the military and enlisted into the military against their will? But it's a good one that the Defense Headquarters has come out to discredit that, and it also calls for us to be very careful, because in a dispensation, in an era where AI is in vogue, like technology is improving by the day, anything can be put out there. Your voice can be cloned, your image can be cloned, and everything synced, and a statement that you never made can be credited to you. So it also calls for you to do your background check before you run with any story. Ensure you confirm the report. What is your source? One of the good places to get news reports from is traditional media. Traditional media. Yes, you can go on social media, but ensure that when you're going on social media, try to look for these traditional medias that have been on ground. Confirm these stories, because you can go on a social media platform and anybody can just put out anything there and you start running with it. Meanwhile, it's misinformation, disinformation, fake news. So always confirm a report before you start running with it. And the Defense Headquarters has said that is untrue. So the Nigerian military, they are not forcing anybody to come on board. The Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has called on stakeholders to collaborate to curb the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance, AMR, in Nigeria. Professor Adeyeye, who made the call at the 2025 World Antimicrobial Awareness Week in Lagos, warned that misuse of antibiotics is pushing the country toward a public health crisis. The NAFDAC DG, represented by her Special Assistant, Dr. Gbenga Fajimirokun, described AMR as one of the most pressing and silent global health threats, undermining the ability to treat common infections in humans and animals. She noted that while antimicrobials remain crucial for treating diseases, their misuse and overuse have accelerated resistance, endangering lives and weakening health systems. The health of humans, animals, and our environment is inseparably linked, she said. This year's theme, Act Now, Protect Our Present, Secure Our Future, is a powerful reminder that the fight against AMR goes beyond hospitals. It also starts on our farms, in veterinary clinics, and across our food production systems. Professor Adeyeye warned that AMR contributes to treatment failures, longer analysis, higher death rates, and increased risks during medical procedures. In agriculture, she said indiscriminate antibiotic use promotion, for growth promotion or poor farming practices has created a breeding ground for resistant pathogens, which often spreads to humans through food, water, or direct contact with animals. So, antimicrobial AMR, it's something I would not want to talk more on because hopefully as Morning Ride proceeds, we'll get a medical personnel that will shed more light on that. So I love to keep the suspense, and when the medical personnel comes in, you get to know more because you might probably be wondering what is AMR, what is antimicrobial resistance, and all of that. We get to know more during today's edition of the Morning Ride. So do well to stay tuned. Now, last trending story here is widows under the Delta State Widows Welfare Scheme have expressed deep appreciation to Governor Sheriff Oborevwori for the prompt payment of their October stipends. Now, Chief Isioma Okonta, State Coordinator of the scheme, confirmed that payments to all 10,000 verified widows were successfully completed between October 19 and 21, following the governor's directive. He lauded the governor for his consistency and commitment, describing the initiative as one that brings hope, dignity, and much-needed relief to vulnerable women. He added that with the full enrollment of beneficiaries now completed, the free healthcare service registration is also nearing conclusion, providing an added layer of support for widows across the state. Many of the beneficiaries offered prayers for God's guidance and strength for the governor as he continues to implement programs aimed at uplifting Deltans. So this is a very good one, and I must commend the governor of Delta State, His Excellency the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, for this Widows Welfare Scheme. It's very good when you support the vulnerable, less privileged, because now they've lost, of course, when you consider our society and our culture, the man is the major provider for the home. So they've lost their husbands, they've lost the major provider, and in most cases the breadwinner of the home. So this support is very timely. And another thing that I must commend the governor for is that he's very timely with payments. And that's what this report was all about, how it was timely between 19th and 21st of the previous month. Before the month ran out, he had made payment. And it's the same thing he does for civil servants in the state when it comes to salary payment. He pays, there's no situation in Delta when it comes to civil service where workers are complaining that, they are being owed even a month salary, except maybe you have issues with your salary pre-audit or screening or whatsoever. But if everything is in place, you don't even complain that maybe 2 months, a week or 2 weeks into the new month, and you're saying you've not received your salary for the previous month, let alone talking about 2 months, 3 months. No, it's unheard of. As a matter of fact, I've heard civil servants that have now complained that this salary is coming too early, because that's how prompt and how concerned the governor is and interested in the workers of the state. So a big kudos to the governor of Delta State, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, for his developmental strides, the opportunities he has created for all, the realistic reforms, and enhanced peace and security. And that's it on the trending news. We'll go for a break, and when we return, it will be time for newspaper review. And do not forget, we also have our guest interviews coming your way. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the ride. It's time now for a newspaper review. We have the first daily, Voice of Liberty, The Matrix, The Whistler, Daily Independent, Daily Trust, Daily Monitor, The Guardian, Leadership, The Punch, Business Day, and The Matrix Sport. We begin with First Daily, and the major headline here says, after days of horror, 50 Catholic students escape kidnappers, return home safely. 38 abducted choir worshippers regain freedom. Insecurity, seek help or step aside, PDP tells Tinubu. Tinubu wants criminals, no one will be spared. 5 Bauchi police officers killed in daring bandit ambush. Fresh terror, Boko Haram abducts 12 female farmers in Borno. Kanu speaks from Sokoto prison, rejects conviction, alleges fatal judicial errors. Kebbi closes all secondary schools as security fears worsen. And lastly, from the First Daily, Pope Leo demands immediate release of Niger school hostages. So, all the headlines I just read here on the First Daily newspaper has to do with insecurity, and it's very, very saddening. Very, very saddening. Move to the next daily, Voice of Liberty. The lead. Niger, 50 students abducted from Catholic school escape. Mass school pupils abductions. No child should be at the mercy of terrorists. Ramalam, Chairman, Board of Trustees. Amnesty International slams federal government over school attacks in Nigeria. Politics not for rascals. A statement credited to the former president Goodluck Jonathan. All 38 worshippers kidnapped in Kwara Church rescued. TSA storm erupts as FIRS adds express payments to revenue gatekeeping. Atiku demands agents' role suspended for scrutiny. And I'm not in the studio alone this morning. I've got Mr. Ejime Edueme to help with the analysis of some of these headlines. So I've taken two, because the first two newspapers I've taken, the First Daily and Voice of Liberty, their headlines majored on the insecurity plaguing the nation at this point in time. So let's kick off from there. So, good morning. It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Now, with what happened last week, Monday, it was Kebbi State. 24 students abducted. And now, the governor alluded that about 30 minutes before the attack, security personnel were withdrawn, and the military said they are investigating that. On Tuesday, it was the church attack in Kwara State.
Yeah.
We saw it because the service was being streamed live, and
the video footage.
Yes, these kidnappers, terrorists, they attacked the church, killing 3 and abducting 38.
Yeah.
Now, good news that these 38 persons were released yesterday, but the thing that we were not told is how they were released. Was ransom paid?
Whether ransom was paid or...
Because they did not also report that they arrested or they killed any of these kidnappers, so it didn't look like it was a kinetic means
or a comeback before they were rescued.
But now they just say rescued. Then also, good news, on Thursday, there was the kidnapping in the St. Mary's Catholic, over 300 PPU students and staff.
Yeah.
Now 50 have escaped. With all this that is going on, Now, Tinubu, on one of the headlines reads, Tinubu wants criminals, no one will be spared. But are we saying that these kidnappers are not being spared? Are they not having a field day?
I think at this point in time, Nigerians, including myself, we are fed up in terms of insecurity. Because if it happened in Kebbi, it happened in Kwara, and so many other places where it is happening, do we know where they are going next? It boils down to the fact that the security architecture that we have in place, we are not doing enough. Because if in Asaba, for instance, students of over 300, they are moved from one place to the other, worshippers. You know, when for you to carry 50 persons, there must be hue and cry. Whether you are being threatened with gun, you see them carrying people. The facial expression should tell you that this is not a safe ground for these people.
So
and when you are moving from here to Agbo, you will see up to 4 checkpoints. Is it that they don't have such in those areas, and nobody questions the outcome of whatever happens in terms of security or insecurity? So I think Mr. President should go back to the drawing board and see what he could do to redeem the nation, because this issue of insecurity, for us being trapped by ISWAP, Boko Haram, and other insurgents, is getting out of hand. Since the tweet of President Donald Trump about Christian genocide in Nigeria, they have now turned their torchlight on churches, schools, and so many other target areas. This is a pointer to the fact that as a nation, the country itself is not safe, and Mr. President has been moving from one part of the world to the other, canvassing for investors to come to Nigeria and do business. Nobody will see such in international television stations, national television stations, and local ones, and be very free to come here and do business with us. Before now, since President Donald Trump offered to come and assist in fighting for Christians in Nigeria, based on the fact that a lot of them have been killed by these insurgents. People have been for, some persons have been against. Even some part of Nigeria, some persons went to the street to protest against such. It also shows how we feel about our neighbors. When you are just in your parlor watching television and you see an obituary announcement, you see it as a movie. But when you are directly affected, you know that something has left you. I watched the video of the late general that was killed, Musa's wife. I watched the video this morning. I saw how she was lamenting that the husband, that two of them have been together, during her birthdays, the man was not there. During the children's birthdays, he was not there.
Serving his country.
When he's going for school runs, the man is not there. All her hope was tied to the fact that at 35 years in service, the man will come back home and I will get my husband back. The only thing she saw on the social media, on national television, was where he was being shot and killed like a thief. I don't think people with such ugly development will have the zeal and zest to defend the integrity of our dear nation. Our reward system is very poor. If a general dies, what is the reward for the family, the immediate family? Who will now shoulder the taking care of the children, his or her dependents? This is most unfortunate. We're in a nation where people are feeding fat from the heightened insecurity across the board. If it is not insurgents operating in one part of the country, herdsmen are oppressing our farmers. People no longer go to their farms to do their legitimate business. We know for sure now that when you are into agriculture, you will swim in thousands and millions. But people will have wide expanse of land. You can't access your farm by virtue of the fact that you feel unsafe when you are going there. Look at my place, Abavo, an agrarian community in Ika South. There was a time people could not access their farms because when you go to your farm, it is either the herdsmen kill you or you are maimed, injured, and so many other things. And so many persons, instead of resorting to reprisal attack, they now went inside and said, it is better for hunger to engulf us than for me to go in search of greener pastures.
But were the police not aware of this?
This they are aware. They will tell you that they are on top of the matter. You know, most times when things happen, they will tell you that we are walking around the clock. The perpetrators will soon be brought to book. But here we are. How many of them have been brought to book?
Good question.
So the issue of insecurity, I think we should go back to the drawing board, see how we can rework the whole process, see how we can seek for international collaborators who will assist us. Because this idea of kinetic and non-kinetic measures, people are coming out brazenly to go and negotiate with terrorists. People are being kidnapped in their numbers. Lives are being lost. Nobody have been arrested. Nobody is in court over all of this. Even the few ones in court, do you see the end of it?
But recently we saw the sentencing of one of the ISWAP leaders.
Out of that one, when you compare it with the number of persons who are into this dastardly act, is it a commensurate thing? It is not. It's a far cry from what we are looking forward to. Right. We have lost most of our gallant officers. We have lost resources. We have lost manpower. We have lost our reputation before the international community. Before now, our military men were highly revered across board, locally and internationally, because of their superpower when it has to do with man to man. We know that in terms of the technological wizardry, we may not have gotten to where we ought to be. But with the manpower we had on ground, we would have been able to. You must secure yourself before you secure others.
All right.
So no Nigerian today will feel that, irrespective of the number of policemen, army, and other security men that are in your convoy, you are not still safe because bullets could come from anywhere.
All right. Let's move to other headlines. The Matrix newspaper is next, and the major headline here is still on insecurity. I will not relent until Nigeria is safe, Tinubu vows. We've got 3 riders, withdraws officers from VIPs, redeploys them to core police duties. 51 Catholic school, 51 Catholic school students, 38 choir worshippers regain freedom. Current disorder fueled by leaders choosing comfort over courage. This is coming from Peter Obi. Now, you wanted to react to this good development?
That is redeploying security men attached to VVIPs.
Yes. So,
if you know that most of these security men, police officers who have been working with VVIPs, many of them, they've not gone for routine training and retraining on the recent.
So what are they protecting? If you are not getting trained on how to protect your principle.
Many of them, don't you see them brazenly every day? We see them that they are attached to escorting VIP children to school, assisting madam, carrying madam bag, and so many of them, they have lost touch with their routine assignments. So for you to reintegrate them into the system, that is even if that is when they will even agree to leave the VIPs.
No,
we know that
it's an order, so they don't have a choice.
I know. Well, we have heard such orders in time past. Even the IGP, the past IGPs have made such pronouncement, and at the end of it all, it went under the carpet. Let's hope and pray that it works. But when it works, what we are supposed to be talking about now is how to recruit more men
the president
into the force.
Talk about 30,000. There should be recruitment of about 30,000 policemen.
But these 30,000 policemen that you are talking now, how do we ensure that the bad eggs do not infiltrate into the system? Just as Boko Haram is already part of our military, they are already part of our security architecture. Any information, any secret information that you are sharing among core officers, before you discharge it, it's already in the open. Like the issue of the late General Musa that was assassinated, that was killed like a rat.
He disclosed his location to
they disclosed
the military personnel.
Yes, and
this one got there before.
So he was sensitive enough to know when to retreat. He was hiding somewhere with the hope that his colleagues will come to his rescue as soon as possible. Trying to confide in them where he was actually hiding. He disclosed the information to them. Ordinarily, the men who were after him would have gone, and himself would have been able to wriggle his way out. But he felt there was need for them to come and join forces with him and see how they could rescue him. But here we are. Instead of doing the needful, they allow the men who were after his life to get information first. They now located where he was, brought him out, humiliated him, got hold of his phone. You know that as a serving military officer, there are some information that you have in your phone that is enough to aid and assist in advancing security. But these men now are with his phone. They will access the phone and get all the things that the military have in stock towards overpowering them. And that is a negative omen as far as the fight against insecurity for our dear nation is concerned. So, in summary, I want to state here that it is not enough for Mr. President to say, I am withdrawing social officers from the VVIPs and bringing them back to the pool and see how we can deploy them into the mainstream and help to combat insecurity. As soon as you withdraw them, be ready to spend more money towards ensuring that they are given up-to-date training, they are re-equipped. We should be talking about buying more arms, because when you see some of these people, the few videos we have seen, they are highly equipped with sophisticated weapons.
With all that is
but at times I'm also amazed that even when we are in charge of land, air, water, sea, we are supposed to, even if it is not maybe on ground combat, we should be able to raid them through the air. Where are they hiding? Where is this their hideout that we cannot see? With the use of drones, you could be in your office and determine where they are. You map out the area and see how you can rescue few innocent persons there and unleash mayhem there. And that will be the end of it all.
All right. So let's move away from the Matrix newspaper to the Whistler. CBN monetary policy easing hit target as reserves soar, inflation drops. That's the major headline. The rider, NGX market cap falls to 91.4 trillion naira as trading drops by 64%. Seek help or quit, PDP tells Tinubu. The first rider, all terrorist sympathizers must go down, says Oyedepo. Pope seeks release of abducted students, teachers, worshippers.
Okay, let me come in here. We know that the pontiff has made a statement, as it were, on the need, calling on Nigerian government to ensure that the abducted students are released. I also expected him to go further towards ensuring that, apart from verbal expression, he should, his military men should also see how they could partner with us.
The Pope?
Yes.
The Pope is not the president of the country.
I know. He has the influence to call on the other nations to come to the aid of Nigeria.
But America has shown interest. The federal government is it.
I know that people are looking at America from another angle, but with the influence.
You think if the Pope is involved, people
if
will be more open?
If he adds his voice to it, you could see the buy-in that will come. So many countries that are tied to Christian religion, they would want to indicate interest to see how they could help us. So it's not all about calling on Nigerian government, because so many persons have been calling and we are seeing fewer results. Like the issue of saying that about 35 of them escape. It's just that they want to release them while they keep the rest ones to enable them get their ransom. You understand? These people have not been taken from the information we have gathered so far or heard. They've not been taken outside the shores of Nigeria. And this is something that technologically you can identify where they are and see how you could go about rescuing them on hot. One is to rescue people, another is to rescue them on hot. In the quest to rescue them, we have to bring in so many variables and see how we can ward off such ugly incidents from happening again. Because since the first group got kidnapped, we've been seeing series of kidnap upon kidnap, and it shouldn't be so. It is happening in some part of the country, just as I said earlier. Who knows where they are advancing to? Most of our forests are filled with men of the underworld. They know the terrain. They know how and where to strike.
All right. So let's just, because of time, let's just run quickly through as many headlines as we can run through. Now, still from the Whistler, this one says, Cross River government revokes Miyetti Allah cattle permit bounce movement. Moving quickly to the Daily Independent, MPC faces tightrope walk as inflation pressures mount. Would leave out the previous headlines we've taken from different newspapers. US signals broader efforts to protect Nigeria's Christians. Now to the Daily Trust. Insecurity. We're talking about Kebbi, Kwara, Niger, and now 13 teenage girls abducted in Borno. Moving out to the Daily Monitor. Insecurity. Tinubu orders withdrawal of police escorts from VIPs. Nigeria will not disintegrate, a statement coming from the First Lady. Now, Archbishop Martins warns federal government against treating bandits with kid gloves. NDLEA dismantles 6 syndicates, intercepts meth, cocaine consignments at Lagos Airport. The Guardian newspaper. International pressure mounts on federal government as states close schools over kidnappings. This is very, very sad.
You know, the Boko Haram said their mission has always been against Western education. And with the closure, it appears they are now winning the war because they want Western education to crumble. And now that we are closing down schools, the system is disintegrating. We are now yielding to their vision and mission. What we need to do is to up our game and ensure that they are not rocket science. These are people, they are human beings that you see. So we need to re-strategize and see how we can wipe them off the shores of our dear nation. Give them a combat that will even send them out of this world. It's not about closing down school. I know that is a preliminary to what they want to do. Let's retreat first and see how we can reorganize ourselves and confront them. But be that as it may, Nigeria as a nation, we need to wake up from our slumber. We have given these people not more than enough room to push us to a corner where we are now even we are negotiating with bandits. Anywhere you see negotiation with bandits, it does not end well. They would want to, because once they are running out of arms, you see them struggling to kidnap more people for them to rake in money and see how to procure more weapons and face your military men. Because right now they are no longer afraid. They are bold. They are strengthened. They are now more chaotic than they used to be before now. They are now confronting our soldiers, our military men, and they are giving them hot cheese.
Right.
A situation where you are going to their camp and they are the first to ambush you. It boils down to the fact that there is already a compromise.
Yes.
Where you are strategizing. They already have where you are, your location, and what next you want to do. It is not a heady one for us.
Very unfortunate. Now let's end on the business front with the Business Day newspaper. The major headline: Nigeria faces fiscal chaos as Tinubu breaks budget cycle. The rider questions asked over 2024 to 2026 budgets. Analysts see further rate cuts at MPC's final 2025 meeting, and the last headline we'll be taking today on this segment: Nigeria's missing budget and price of fiscal drift. And that's it on newspaper review here on the Morning Ride on Delta Television. Thank you very much, Ejime Odueme, for your in-depth analysis. We hope that the security improves in Nigeria.
That is the wish of every Nigerian. The issue of insecurity, it shouldn't be left with Mr. President alone or our security forces. Let all of us collaboratively see what we can do. If you see something, you say something. Because these people, they are not operating from Pluto. They are on Earth here with us. They are within the enclave of our dear nation. They are hiding in one corner or the other. If you see any strange movement, alert the security operatives. And the security operatives too, they should be very professional in handling information given to them. Yes. Not the situation whereby somebody is reporting a thing to you. As soon as the person is arrested, you are disclosing the source of your information. That will be counterproductive.
All right, thank you very much. That's it on Newspaper Review here on Morning Ride. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, it will be time for our interview segment. Please stay tuned.
Oborevwori government, they do numerous projects. And it still they go on to they approve new projects. And it not still they borrow money. Think calm now.
No be lie. Delta government just approve projects worth 230 billion.
Governor Oborevwori understand say when good road network dey, it dey help the economy to dey robust. Even individual businesses could thrive. Both transportations.
I hear say Governor Oborevwori don approve Agbo flyover 59 billion.
Yes, I hear am.
And flyover for Ogeli Patani Highway for Otowodo Junction. Also, Sapele dual carriage 35 billion.
Yes, I dey aware.
Wait till Oga Friday. I hear say all these road constructions where they go on for Delta State now across the 3 senatorial districts.
Now everywhere. Why you ask?
I hear say Governor Sheriff they do road for Isoko Nation.
Governor Sheriff, they do numerous roads there. Don't forget say Governor Sheriff don't complete Emefo Road Phase 1. As for the talk, so Phase 2 they in progress. Governor Sheriff don't do Utekbo Road for Elu. Also for that Elu, construction of Arada Road still they in progress. Governor Sheriff they do road for Emede. They still they do for Olomo Road, Igide Road. Also, Tiri internal roads for Ideheze community. Construction of bridge they in progress for Asaba Asa. And this Asaba Asa bridge, when it they completed, it will connect Uzere for Isoko South to Asaba Asa for
Don't do. Governor Sheriff more agenda. Nari matter. Governor Sheriff came prepared to govern with excellence. Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
Brought to you by Ministry of Information. Delta from glory to glory.
Mama Rukewe, what do you want to so?
I want throw it dirty inside gutter. Water go carry and flow go.
No, now, throw it dirty where?
Government go take care of that one now.
Who be the government? Now me and you?
Not the Governor Sheriff.
For some months now, Delta State government don't they go around they clear drainages so that water go they get free flow. And now our responsibility not to block waterways.
Delta, make we keep Delta clean. I see better, it better for you and me. One love, not throw it dirty